Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Namaste student, I Dhiral Pargi, Assistant Professor in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University welcomes you in class of Application and Network Security from Chaitanya Studio. Today we are going to learn about Block 1 System Security, in which we have Unit 1 Desktop Security. Let's start with our agenda. First, before going to learn about chapter, let's start with introduction to system security. Objective of system security is to provide protection of information from theft, corruption and other type of damages. In simple words, we can define it as various methodologies that help in keeping confidential information safe. The security of system can be threatened via two violations. First is threat and second is attack. First, threat is nothing but a program that has potential to cause serious damages to our system. Second is attack. Attack is an actual attempt to break security and make unauthorized use of a system or data. There are three main goals of security. First is confidentiality, second is integrity, and third is availability. It is also called as CIA triad. Confidentiality means data confidentiality assure that private or confidential information is not made available to unauthorized individuals. A loss of confidentiality is the authorized disclosure of information. Now let's move toward the second goal, that is availability. Availability refers to authorized user that can freely access the systems, networks and data needed to perform their daily task. Third is integrity. Integrity measures and protect information from unauthorized alteration. These measures provide assurance in the accuracy and completeness of data. So, in layman language, we can say that main goal of security is to provide protection to our data from unauthorized access and altering, and make sure that authorized users can use system and data freely. Moving to our next point, that is introduction to network security. Let's start with network security. Network security consists of the policies adopted to prevent and monitor unauthorized access, misuse, modification or denial of computer network and resources which are accessible by network. Network security involves the authorization of access to data in a network which is controlled by the network administrator or user. Now let's see our learning objectives. After learning this unit, you will able to define a desktop computer and understand the meaning of security desktops, know the need of desktop security, know the desktop security policies, and try to remember the password policies for security. Now let's just start with what is desktop computer and why desktop needs to be secure. A desktop computer is a personal computer designed for regular use at a single location or near a desk or table due to its size and power requirement. It includes the power supply, motherboard, disk storage, a keyboard and a mouse for input, a monitor and additionally a printer for output. Now let's understand why desktop needs to be secure. As we all know, desktop computer is convenient and traditional approach for any kind of organization or user. So, desktop security is not just a matter of protecting your own machine and the data on it, but when a machine is compromised, one of the most common outcome is that important data can be lost, our privacy can be violated, and even your computer can be used by a hacker to attack other computers on campus or across the internet. Desktop is the entry point to the organization's information resources. If the security of the desktop is weak, potential intruder can easily bypass the first obstacle. So, it is necessary to secure desktop computers. Some of the threats that need to be constantly communicated to desktop users are using programs that send password to intended person. You might have habit of sharing password, not changing password for months or years, and posting important data on notes. You might have a guest or open account. Using the guest account or open account, social engineering attacks which are aimed at tracking individual or enterprise into accomplishing actions that benefits attackers or providing them with sensitive data like social security numbers, health password, and password. Virus and other malicious code of attacks, unsolicited emails, attachment. Unsolicited emails means that the recipient has not granted verifiable permission for the message to the sender. Downloading and installing software from untrusted internet sites, modem connection to desktop within the LAN which work as a backbone for attacker, desktop without screen lock, and a packet sniffing. Now let's see packet sniffing. Packet sniffing is an application that reads data packet traveling in network within transmission control and internet protocol. What do you mean by securing desktop? Securing desktop within an organization means protecting desktop configuration to allow for its continuous use, protection of local desktop, supporting files and configuration and its content, and control employees' behavior on desktop, ensuring confidentiality, integrity, availability of sensitive data and database in an organization. Now, let's understand desktop security policies. A basic list of security policies would include an antivirus program, use of license and open source software, software updates, anti-spyware, a personal firewall, file encryption software, etc. As security solution, each one of these mechanisms will help ensure at least one or more of the three basic principles of security, that are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. First is antivirus. Antivirus is a software which will check incoming data for viruses, scan your computer for existing viruses, and make sure that no one is installing data or collecting software on your computer without your knowledge. Second is the primary purpose of antivirus solution or software is to guard against malicious software or script by blocking the software that is identified and alerting administrator that such action has taken place. It also provides solution to detect and report and different type of malicious software. So, we must install and maintain current antivirus software. Check for and install any updates to both the software and virus definition on a regular basis. Now, you might have questioned that where we can we should antivirus software can be installed. It can be installed in an enterprise level. Antivirus solution should be installed on all system and devices like servers, laptop, desktop, mobile devices. Antivirus software should also be deployed on the network, including internet gateway, servers, and end user system for protection from malicious code. The antivirus solution should be properly maintained and updated accordingly. Centrally managed, up-to-date anti-spam and anti-malware protection should be implemented at information system entry and exit point of the network and in all the devices. Now, moving to our next point, this is license and open source software. All the software we use for work should also be from reputable sources with valid licensing and regulatory update. Or we can use open source software also, because open source software are developed in a decentralized and collaborative way and rely on a peer review and community production. Open source license are licenses that comply with open source definition. In brief, they allow software to be freely used, modified, and shared. To be approved by open source initiative also known as OSI. A license must be go through open source initiatives license review process. Use of pirated software is illegal and there is a possibility that they might contain malwares. Setting your software to auto update means it will be protected against the latest threats. Now, let's moving to our next point, that is software update. Regularly check for and ensure that software update patches are installed. Updates should not be limited to operating system, but we should do application patches and firmware updates regularly. Anti-spyware software, a computer program that attempts to identify and remove spyware from protected computer. This software can be classified as part of confidentiality category. There is freeware such as Spybot Search. Microsoft is now offering its own version called Windows Defender. Now, anti-spy. Moving to our next point, that is OS patch-based management. There are multiple variations of patch management software available which provide minor fixes to fix bugs or security vulnerability in the operating system. First, let's understand what are patches. Patches are software and operating system update that address security vulnerability within a program or a product. Software vendors may choose to release updates to fix performance bugs as well as to provide enhanced security features. When software updates become available, vendor usually put them on their website for user to download. Install update as soon as possible. To protect your computer, phone or other digital device against attackers who would take advantage of system vulnerabilities. Attackers may target vulnerabilities for months or even years after updates are available. So we need to system that manage all the update related tasks. Some software will automatically check for updates and many vendors offer user the option to receive updates on regular basis or automatically. If automatic options are available, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, that is CISA, recommends that you take advantage of them. If they are not available, then you can periodically check your vendor's website for update. Manual updates require the user or administrator to visit the vendor's website to download and install software files. Automatic updates require user or administrator consent when installing or configuring the software. Once your consent to automatic updates, software updates are installed to your system automatically, then when any kind of vendors apply their uh, updates on the site, your system will automatically download and restore that data to your system. Now moving to our next point, that is host-based firewall. A host-based firewall is a firewall software that is installed directly on a computer rather than a network. Host-based firewall helps you detect and stop viruses, malware, and other malicious script that may not have been caught by network security. When a host-based firewall is regularly updated and running on an individual computer, the individual computer is protected against viruses and other malicious software. Now, our next point, that is implement physical security. In our world of online information security, most of the time people are thinking about password and server protection. While these are obviously very important things to be thinking about, but one huge part of security is being overlooked, which is physical security. Securing workstation and devices is becoming more and more difficult, but there are few strategies that can be implemented today. First is define physical asset. Take an inventory list of the physical asset that need to be secured. Things like laptops, printers, servers, filing cabinets, etc. Any physical object that store critical data for your business. Then we will go for further step, that is a risk assessment. Once that list is complete, now it's time to check all of these assets by checking what is stored on those assets and any potential negative impact if they are compromised. We will get idea of which asset need to be secure. Then after, the third step, that is remove and consolidate. During the process of defining your physical assets, you may realize that there are things like some computers that nobody is using that are storing data, or a server that isn't being used by anymore. So take a look to consolidate or remove these items to simple operation. Then moving to the next point, that is secure assets. Looking back on the risk assessment step, you will know which assets are important to you the most. If they are compromised, implementing common physical security controls around this asset will strengthen your security posture, like things that you use for door locks, lighting, security cameras, safety guards, and secure control your storage cabins. Limited use of Now our next point, that is limited use of privilege account. First, we will learn what does privilege access means. In technology environment, privilege access refer to account with elevated capabilities beyond regular user. For example, in a Linux environment, the root user can add or delete software or uninstall software and access restricted parts of operating system that are off limits to a standard user. In Windows environment, similar type of product is used, but here rather than it's called as a root user, we are calling them as an administrator. Privilege access management is an information security mechanism that safeguard identities with special access or capabilities beyond regular user. Like all other information security solutions, privilege access management works through a combination of people, process, and technology. We treat privileged accounts with extra care because of the risk they have to the technology environment. For example, if the credential of an administrator or service account fall into the wrong hands, it could lead to compromise of the organization's system and confidential data. Data breaches occur when threat user try to compromise privilege access account, as this account holds the key that unlock every door in a technology environment. We need to add additional layers of protection, and we should limit or restrict the use of this account. That extra security is a privilege access management solution. Now, moving to our next point, that is file encryption. File encryption software is a computer program that will take data stored on a mobile device or a media device and apply an encryption algorithm to it in order to render the data unreadable to those without proper access. This software would be part of the confidentiality category. An example of this software is Microsoft that include file encryption as an option on its Active Directory enabled operating system. Next point is disable unnecessary services. While working on a Windows PC, generally we think or care about various type of services that constantly run in the background. Some of these services, or we can say processes, are absolutely necessary to power the important features and functions we use on a daily basis. But some of these background services are either never used or are rarely used by us. Naturally, these unnecessary services take system resources to run and function continuously. So, we can identify these unnecessary services which can be disabled, and after identifying each of them, if you think a specific service is mandatory for your daily work, we can use it, and other exception services left enabled due to business or operational requirements must be documented. So, take a note of it and try to solve it. So, that's all from my side for today's video. We will continue this chapter in next session. Thank you very much and all the best.
स्वाध्यायः परः